Welcome, everybody, to Get Good Europe Season 7. I'm Joe Razor, joined here by a Misfit, and we took a trip from the Advanced Division down to the Rookie Division for this match between Cursed Owls and Pixelate.
Yeah, and I'm very excited to get into this one. Coming down from that very high ranked game, we got to see a lot of very meta compositions. But something I like about lower elo matches in our platinum division, we get to see a lot more creativity when it comes to comps. Teams at this elo don't understand how to utilize resources as effectively. They don't run meta comps as they're intended to be played. So we get to see a lot more variation in their comps. So I've actually grown very fond of casting platinum and diamond games just because there's so much variation. You never really know what you're going to see from any given team, and it just makes it so much more interesting from a casting perspective, just to break everything down.
Yeah, it really can. The play is not normally as clean. The mechanics aren't always there as much, but the teams tend to have like some more fun ideas and I guess cheese strats you could say that they're able to pull out and tend to do a bit more successfully. So excited to see what each team has to bring. But like you just saw on your screen, first map is going to be Ilios. We saw that as the uh, conclusion of our last series, and now we'll see it here to start off this one.
Yeah, and I'm very excited. Got to see a lot of Pharah in our last match. Maybe we get to see some of that here. Of course, a very popular pick in this elo. But yeah, no, I'm very curious. Both these teams sitting currently at 5-2, which is very strong in this division. I believe they both secured their spot in playoffs, and now they're just vying for a higher seed here, which I'm sure they both want. But no real playoff implications, no real detriment if you lose. You will still be going to our playoffs if you win or lose this game.
Yeah, both teams, like you said, they're pretty high in the standings. For this, Cursed Owls, number 2 seed, Pixelate, number 3, both 5-2. Only team above them is Happy Feet, who is 6-1. So both teams are very high in the standings, and I'm excited to see what they are able to pull off here. We're going to be starting on Ruins.
Yeah, and Ruins is a map where you can see a lot of different things. I mentioned earlier that Brawl does not get run on Ruins, but in these lower elos, it has the potential to be run, just because the speed at which the game is played allows Brawl to actually be effective on this map. But I would expect more of, I would expect more traditional compositions personally. We'll get to see here in a second. Nope, it is actually going to be full Brawl mirror, like I said. Very interesting, personally. I don't think the May gets as much value here. Just because the walls can't really block chokes as well, but still a very powerful pick overall. Very good pick with that freeze. Helps your Ryan out a lot if you can freeze up that enemy mainstay. So we'll have to see how this one-for-one perfect mirror actually will go as we get into this match.
Yeah, we'll see what they are able to do here. Gonna roll out on this Brawl like you mentioned, as they're gonna start to push up on the side. Gonna Brawl on this right side high ground. Immortality Field forced out, forced to drop down. Immortality Field used. Gonna poke a lot of Phantom Hammers. He's still going. I don't think he realizes he has another button on his belt, but first pick there on the Tommy. Reinhardt removed, and that is essentially the fight win.
Yeah, once your main tank falls, it feels very hard to take space as a Brawl composition. You kind of rely on that Ryan shield there, which got whittled down very well by all of those right clicks from Caladriel, which is a very interesting thing. I actually don't hate it, right? You're better at getting kills with the left click, but if you're just looking to whittle down resources, I mean, the right click is way better.
Yeah, and they're gonna try to move around it. The pressure on the Tommy goes down. 1-for-1 trade. Losing Reinhardt is disastrous. That's gonna be fight conclusion there.
Yeah, very good job once again from Pixelate here. Now they will have this window, and I like this use of it. They're using it at the choke. Unfortunately, not catching enough members. A bit of trouble here.
Yeah, ooh, the high noon through the Ant Matrix finds too. And that's a really nice start there. Now they're going to move forward onto the point. 4v6 in favor of Cursed Owl. That's going to be the fight they're grabbing from Surge to help close this out.
Yeah, very nice push there from Cursed Owls. They're actually able to get in there. Rose's Ant Matrix just a little bit too late. Wasn't able to catch them in the choke. Was a good idea, but poor execution. And now Pixelate or excuse me, I was calling that incorrectly. It was Heart's Ant Matrix that was used for. Rose's was used very well. Excuse me. Very, very sorry on that. But looking at Pixelate's ult economy, they have a lot of really good ultimates. They have 2 fight winners. They got the Blizzard, they got the Graviton, and they have the Sound Barrier to survive Cursed Owl. So they should be okay here.
Yeah, the Maywell's not too great. Blizzard thrown in with the Graviton Surge as well, so use both ultimates simultaneously. That's gonna be a very quick engagement. Really nicely done there by Pixelate to use their resources to go for the players. Nice Maywell as well to kill the Zarya.
Yeah, very good job there from Pixelate to re-engage there. I would have liked to see them hold on to the Sound Barrier if at all possible. I don't feel like they needed it to survive that Blizzard. They had enough kills on their own. They could have saved it. But, you know, there's nothing really detrimental for they have ways to survive the Graviton Surge with that high shield. And now we see Hearts and Matrix again being used very, very well.
Yeah, high noon right behind the Ant Matrix finds 2. Good nice to hold there onto Hearts though to trade out. They need to commit to this Cursed Owls due to the fact that Pixelate are at 90%. They're just going to try to wait a bit before they want to go in there. But by doing this, they lose Bipolar Bear. Just quite tragic there. The Sound Bear is going to be used so they are able to get a touch, but just players are dropping left, right, and center. Cursed Owls, Pixelate are looking good to take root.
Pixelate's just going to secure this first map with some very, very nice brawl play. Wasn't the cleanest, definitely a few holes in it for both sides of Pixelate able to come out on top there. Just a little bit cleaner with how they played. I would like to see Cursed Owls be a little bit faster with how they push through chokes. Right now, they're being a little slow, and Pixelate's doing a really good job of poking them down and wasting their resources in these chokes, so that by the time they get to them, they don't have enough resources to really win the fights.
Yeah, so we'll see what they're able to do. They're gonna run a double bubble, Pixelate will. Echo McCree. And then on the other side, we're going to see a continuation of this brawl. Wonder if they stay on the symmetry. You could. It's not a done deal if they will swap or not.
Oh, so what they're going to do here is they're going to teleport to point, and they're going to try to set up turrets like we saw in our Expert Division game. And I like this. I think it's good. You establish point control, you get those turrets set up. But Pixelate does have a lot of tools with which they can poke out the comp that Cursed Owls is running. They can fly this Echo around point, which that damage boost, and just get a lot of damage in. Really create some space that way. And there we go. The damage boosted stickies are going to find Bipolar Bell, and that's going to be the opening Pixelate need to go.
Yeah, they're going to try to push in here. Cursed Owls are on the point. They keep the Symmetra alive. They do have a chance of this fight. A lot of pressure on Maxim. And he's able to stay alive, though. Uses that jump wisely to get away. But they're just taking so much damage trying to push into this objective. Silver drops. Nano boost put onto the monkey there. Resurrect is through. And they get a kill there onto Budget Super. I don't think I've ever seen Super play Symmetra, so not too sure if the name is apt. But we're going to see Maxim drop there by Tommy. As the Shatter is thrown down as well, and it finds 2. As this is still so back and forth, though. Anybody could win this. It looks like yeah, it looks like Cursed Owls have now stabilized though, so it will hold on.
Yeah, because they got that first point cap, they've been capping this entire time, so even though that was just first fight, they're already to 40% of their ultimates there. And now Pixelate's got to just readjust to this. They know what they need to do here. They're going to go back in. They're going to try to find the angles with this Echo. And if they can do that, they should be okay. Cedrella is farming these nanos. Was able to get that in one fight. Will most likely be able to do it again as she is approaching 70% ult charge. So that's got to be their win condition here. Just farm this nano. Go in once you have resources.
Yeah, Crystal just have so many ults to try to hold on to this. That's the TP is... interesting. That's a solo grab onto the Mercy. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. With this comp, it kind of makes sense to go for a solo grab onto a squishier target, so they do end up getting killed there. High Noon with the grab up surge as well. Only one kill off the back of that. Now you have the animations being thrown down by Rose to try to keep everybody alive. Blizzard is forced out by Cursed Owls, and it's going to end up working on their favor. 90% now, Pixelate looking down and out here on this second point.
Yeah, now they're gonna swap to some stall characters. They might not be able to get back to point. Excuse me. This doofus here ready to poop anyone off. The Lucio will touch and immediately fall here.
Yeah, this is looking quite challenging there. People hit onto the Reinhardt, but immediately popped out like it's super. He's trying to make something happen. Not much for him. Shatter from Tommy. And that's gonna be the conclusion. Triple kill to close it out, and 100-0 there in favor of Cursed Owls on Lighthouse.
Yeah, and that's a big swap from what we saw there. We saw 100-0 on the, or actually no, it wasn't 100-0, but we saw a very dominant victory on the first map from Pixelate, and now Cursed Owls doing the same thing on Lighthouse. And now it's going to come down to Well, and I gotta ask the question, who's going to have the better composition here? Frankly, both these teams have one on a Brawl comp now, and I don't think either of them are going to opt to run one for this map just because of how not suited Brawl is for a point with a giant hole in the middle of it. But actually, we'll see Pixelate opt for the full Brawl, so we'll have to see here, can the dive composition of Cursed Owls find a way to deal with this Brawl comp from Pixelate?
Yeah, it's going to be a speed boost from Rose as she just gets the team out of the cooker. Now she will switch over to the Mercy.
Did you just call spawn the cooker?
What'd you say?
Did you just call the spawn room the cooker?
No.
Oh, I misheard you. I was like, oh, that's good. I'm gonna start calling it that now, though.
I'm gonna call it that now. I was quite confused there. I don't know what I said that might have sounded like. Maybe I'm just losing it. Anthony's pretty good though. Hits 4 players. As I mean, I am casting a fair amount of Overwatch middle of it. I don't know if it's the best idea. Good kill there onto Maxim as they will drop fairly early. And now they're gonna just try to head into the back. They're just able to pump in so much damage. It's gonna be the end of the fight there. Nicely done there by Budget. Super to close it out.
Yeah, and it is something that we saw in the last match too. Is just this Brawl comp against the less mobile, or the dive comp against the less mobile Brawl comp can just establish so much angle control with this Farm Mercy. You just pound that damage in with those rockets, and it just makes it so hard for that Brawl composition to move anywhere without having to worry about the aerial threat. Now they will be onto a pharmacy of their own. We'll be onto the single ball composition.
Maxim nearly dropped there. They were able to stay alive, though. Super. He's on the play. Looking for a pulse. I don't know if he will commit it. I'd imagine he would. A lot of pressure onto him. The accretion is good. He's still able to stay alive, though. So much damage being inflicted. Can he find Cinderella? I don't think he'll be able to take her down. There's a... how is he still alive? He's still alive. Like, he's just single-handedly turned this into a 5v3.
I mean, that's what you want to do on Tracer. You stick in the back line, you create space by distracting, and if you're able to do that well enough, then your team has an easy fight elsewhere. So good job there from Budget Super. Cursed Owls looking very strong right now. Gonna have the Grav, Barrage, and Pulse Bomb, as well as the Nano Valkyrie. So they've got a lot of ultimates to play with here. They're just gonna have to make sure they use them well, use them disciplined, because they have 2 more fights to win.
They do. Ball's gonna go in the back. Good sleep dart onto Tommy. Gonna get woken up though. He's able to get out alive. Some Surge catches one, and he drops. Nicely done there. Looking for some rocket shots onto his fair counterpart. High Noon finds one. Resurrect is gonna be able to come in, as now it's a player advantage for Cursed Owls. They're looking good here to take our opening map.
Yeah, I said 2 more fights, but in reality it was just 1. That was a very slow fight from Pixelate. And now they just have to touch the point here, but I don't know if they're going to be able to with the boop from Tommy. That's going to secure it. Cursed Owls is going to take our first map.
Yeah, they will take the opening there. Pretty dominant second and third point there from Cursed Owls. First point, was fairly close enough to way to Pixelate, but those last two, not close at all. See if nice play the game from Maximum that playing Shattered. That's what secured them that opening point. Just Pixelate just weren't able to hold on for the final 2 points, but now we are going to be getting ready to move on to our next map fairly soon. But before we do that, we can take a quick look at the Pharah comparison, as both teams opted to run the Pharah for a bit of time, uh, and Bipolar just kind of has the better overall stats. Of course, they did play it a bit more, so it makes more sense. But just for a minute more, they have quite better stats.
Yeah, no, 8 eliminations compared to 1 is definitely the statistic that needs highlighting there. Both have comparable amounts of damage, with Bipolar Bear just able to find those eliminations more often than not. Very, very good use of the Pharah pick there to help secure the point for his team. And now we will get into our hybrid map. And I do want to talk a little bit about this, right? We talk about control not being a very good measure of how good a team is because of how different each of the points is. It doesn't really give us an idea of who is the better team, just who's the weirder team sometimes, right? Kurosawa's ran a lot of strange compositions on that map, and they were able to confuse Pixelate enough and win the map because of it. But can they keep that up on the much more traditional hybrid escort 2CP maps? That's going to be the question that needs answering as we get into our next maps in this series.
Yeah, as you know, the good old saying, "Bad teams win control." There was a one weekend of Overwatch League where all the games were 3-1, and the one map was control that the losing
Yeah,
team won every
I
time.
remember that actually. That was very, very funny to me. It was like, yeah, if you win control, you have no chance at winning the game. I remember being really sad about it because the team that I wanted to win, I forget which game this was. This was like last season, right?
Yeah, it was
I think
last
it was
season.
like, yeah,
It was
yeah, and like,
very late into the season because Decay had just been signed to the Justice, if I remember correctly. I think it was that
yeah,
weekend.
yeah, I think it was as well. I can't remember which team it was, but there was a specific team that I wanted to win, and they won control, and I was just like, ah, darn. Guess they're screwed now.
Oh yeah, it was yeah, it was a quite a funny weekend. But we have our next map pick as well. I believe we do, as team's just getting ready still. But yeah, but map pick King's Row. It's going to be our hybrid. So Brawl. It's what we're gonna see. Question is, what off tank do they want to run? I
That
imagine
is the
it's gonna
big
be May
question.
McCree mostly, maybe a bit of Ash. Hans has been getting a bit of playtime, but I imagine that it'd be May McCree. And then the off tank has been circulating in between your Zarya, your Diva, and your Sigma.
Yeah, I would say definitely the better pick is the Diva. But you never know what you're going to see. One of the things I mentioned earlier, Plat, one of the things that make it such a fun elo to watch, especially in tournaments, is just because teams will run whatever they think will work, right? So there's a lot of variation. We may expect Brawl here, but we can see Pharah. I've seen Junkrat here. I've seen Torbjorn here. I've seen Double Shield here for some reason. Anything works, really,
Whenever a
if
team runs
you are
double
very good at
shield,
it.
outside of the Overwatch League, because like Ryan's banned right now, and the DPS ban, it kind of makes it so double shield is just good right now. But
Yeah.
without hero bans, you run double shield, it just like makes me mad. I hate the comp. I think it's just bad. I like like without hero bans, I think it's just not a good comp. But
it can be
double shield rant
run
over.
if it's run effectively. But it's hard to run effectively, especially after all the nerfs have come in. It's hard to play splits so effectively. But we may see it. I don't know. It depends on what these teams want to do. Um, I'm excited to see what each of these teams pulls out here. We did see a brawl mirror on the first map, but then Curcel's kind of tried to stay away from that as much as they could. Or actually, Pixelate rather tried to stay away from that on Lighthouse, and then they went back to it for Well, which was strange to me because Lighthouse is typically the better brawl mech. But yeah, no, both these teams pulled out some weird compositions. I'm going to be excited to see what they go for on the traditional Kings Row. I expect a Brawl Mirror. They both ran Zari the last time they run a Brawl Mirror, so I'd expect that over the Diva. But we'll just have to see when our heroes unlock here.
Yeah, so now we are waiting to see what they want to run out on. Pixelate going to be starting on the defensive side. Actually, interesting. Kursao's got to choose their side, and they chose to start on attack. So
That
that's
is
a
very interesting.
normally see the teams choose who get to choose. They normally choose to start on the defense. They'll play the attack. Defense. Memory Brawl, Zarya is going to be the off-tank chosen. Kursao's looking like they'll run the mirror. They're currently on the Widow, but kind of you see it for a pick, then swap over to your other DPS.
And we'll have to see. Budget Super was very good on that Tracer, very gifted DPS player, clearly. So we'll have to see what they can pull out for us here as we get into King's Row. Hopefully some picks coming through from that Widow, but if not, definitely going to see a swap over to something more traditional like the Kree. I do like how Pixelate's playing this. They're gonna try to hold first choke.
Just gonna hide in the hotel. I mean, not really hide. They know they're there. They're actually going to pull back to point, so they're not going to hold the choke. It's really nice for Kursao to go around the high ground. So they're going to stay on the Widowmaker as well. So they're just going to play split force Pixelate to turn their back to the Widow, but they're just the way that Kursao took that engagement is allows Pixelate to collapse onto them in a way that the Widow has no sight line. And so just it was a decent idea, but just well executed counter aggression for Pixelate.
Maxim there, really giving it to them. Whoa, Budget Super, I mentioned this earlier. You did touch on a really good point about how they took that fight in the area where he couldn't get a lot of damage there, and despite Maxim's best efforts, yeah, they have to give up some point. They'll be able to recontest here for sure. Budget Super there finding some high impact picks here. Are they actually? They gotta touch. They gotta go.
Maywell's not good enough to keep them away. Oh, what a shot! Takes down Rowan as Budget Super just eating up Pixelate. I mean, that's incredible. The Widow pick, not one you see too much. She's pretty bad currently, but they make it work against the Brawl comp.
Yeah, very, very nice job here. And now they'll be looking for these stagger picks. Getting the last little bit of value out of there with the Infosite while swapping to confirm there are people here to stagger. And Arson will find that pick. That's just going to stagger it out even more for Pixelate. They will have much more time where they can't take a full fight. They're taking a lot of space here, Kursao's is, and they're leaving one on Cart. Cart's going to push up. This is textbook Overwatch right now from Kursao's.
Yeah, it really is. We're gonna poke out here. A lot of pressure beat apply, so they're gonna try to go for this high ground rotation. And do so successfully. I'm just gonna force them back a bit as they have to wait on the engagement.
Oh, big Maywall.
Good. That's a great Maywall. The Graviton Surge is also in a pretty strange spot for Kursao's. It catches a couple players, but no kills. They're able to come off the back. The 1-for-1 trade. Ant Matrix comes through, pumps in a decent damage. Flashbang does not hit the Reinhardt, but Fire Strike takes down Heart. Shatter gets through up, gets blocked, however, from Tommy. The grab hits one player, and I think that's going to cause the death of Young Cheese. She actually manages to stay alive. Their Fire Strike comes through, and then the Blizzard as well. And a very long and scrappy fight goes the way of Kursao.
Pixelate there had the advantage, but they just lacked the decisiveness. Brawl's not a comp where you want to stick around, right? It's a comp where you either want to go or you want to back, right? You don't want to stay. You don't want to sit in one spot. You want to either run it down or you want to run it back. There's no other way to run the comp. And Pixelate, they're just not making their decisions quick enough. They don't understand whether or not they want to go or back out. They don't make the decision quick enough. And Kursao's is able to stabilize and win the fight again. But now Arson is going to die with full charge. This is the opening Pixelate needs to get back into this fight.
Yeah, they had to give up the capture, though, and it looks like Kursao will just pull on back. And nicely done there, so Pixelate not able to capitalize.
Yeah, but they will get control here. They will stabilize now. And with Arson not at full charge, they have an advantage going into this fight. They've got the Blizzard. They have a way to win this fight now.
Blizzard gets thrown in. I knew takes that Maxim, so they will drop. This is very good. And the sound barrier from Young Cheese, well, she throws it in just a bit too late. Maywell's in a good spot, and Rowan's able to get taken down. Good Maywell there coming out from Polar there. and that's going to be the rest of Pixelate dropping. One more fight, essentially, to see if they're able to cap it. Actually, it's more just going to be stall.
Yeah, now Curse Owls here is looking in prime position to take this. They're just going to grab him into spawn, most likely. I don't think anyone will be able to touch this. The ball actually will get there, but the Blizzard's going to slow him down. Oh, actually, they've gotten kills now. This is turnable. Kala there with a couple of really big picks.
They find two, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Switch over to the Junkrat. Oh no, Arsenic kills himself. That's so tragic. Gets himself down with the right click. And that's going to be the hold from Pixelate in a situation where the ball was the only one on the keeping them from capping.
Arson there with a crucial misplay, doesn't grab the spawn, instead allows them to get out before using the Graviton Surge. Typically what we see there is you just grab one side and look to the other because no one can get through the grab on the other side. But he waits until he sees people come out and misses the ball, who's able to touch at 0.01 meters, which saves it for Pixelate.
Oh, but that's such a good pick there onto Rowan, who's now over onto the Junkrat. They're now pushed past their own ant matrix to capitalize on these kills. Grabs in a decent spot. Can they get the frag there onto Young Cheese, though she's able to stay alive? The support line's now dropped for Pixelate. Not a lot of players around. I think this time Cursed Owl should be able to cap. They do lose 2 players once again, but they have their supports in the tank slab. The 2 players they lost.
He's off the map, no shot!
That's actually such a big boop off the edge. As the High Noon manages to find Cinderella, so she will drop it, max them. They are still being able to stall it out here. They need to try to make sure they can keep every single player alive, but Budget Super is going to end up falling here. And it looks like Cursed Owls have to reset. Oh, the tire on the exit.
Tire. Just to really say you need to back out, you need to leave. This is our point. Maybe not needed, but you know, definitely gonna feel good for Rowan. Gonna get the momentum back in Pixelate's favor, and they're gonna need it because they don't have a lot of ultimates here, and they could use some because they gotta deal with a Blizzard and a Graviton and a Shatter and a Sound Barrier. Right now, Cursed Owls having the extreme control over ult economy. They just gotta use them well, and this fight's all but theirs.
Yeah, they need to make sure G7 they will expunge. Graviton Surge is good. It hits 3. Ooh, the beat on the Blizzard. Really nicely done there. Their biggest win condition removed from the fight, and they looking good to hold. Not a lot of players remaining for the attack.
Yeah, the tanks there coming up huge for Pixelate. Some picks are still going to come through, but this is going to be Pixelate's fight. Max it with an excellent charge onto Tommy, and that's going to take him out of the fight very quickly. And once the Ryan's down in a brawl comp, that's a lot of your damage. You know, that Ryan swinging in there is really going to do that. Really gonna get a lot of damage through, and then the grab comes through from Arson, but Bipolar Bear throws his Blizzard in as well. Unfortunately, it gets eaten by Sliver, and Maximum Sliver coming up huge.
Yeah, now we're gonna try to use the speed boost to engage, but Rose, she drops there as soon as she had thrown down the Ant Matrix. Now Sound Barrier coming out from Cinderella to try to push the point. Drives the nail into Cursed Owls. 20 seconds left on the clock for them to do really anything. I think that's looking good for Pixelate to be able to hold it in their current spot.
Yeah, now all they've got is this Dragons, really, is their only offensive ultimate. The Shatter might be big here, but Maxim is hiding. Has been really good on this Reinhardt so far. Can he find the Shatter? They're not going to be able to do it.
Can they touch? They can't touch! Oh, they found 2 opening picks with that Dragon Strike, but nobody's able to get to the cart, so... Good hold there by Pixelate, and if you could have seen there, the cart had rolled back quite a bit, so that's essentially that makes it much harder to stall. There's normally a fight takes place right where that cart ended, so it makes it so you only have to win 1 fight on second point instead of like the 2 fights that you normally have to do. So pretty big that they were able to have the cart roll back so far.
Well, the cart will go for as long as it was, won't it? It'll be at 0.01 meters. They just have to complete the map, right?
I thought when the cart rolled back.
I thought it was the farthest point that it gets to. I could be wrong, though.
Well, it says 70 meters at the top is where they got. It's 70 meters would not be there.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure that's only on like hybrid first points, like where you have to capture objectives, like capture points. like on 2CP. I think those are.
Oh, that's how it works for payload as well. I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll get to see here in a second.
Oh, we'll
but
find out
it won't matter
eventually,
even
or
more.
we
It
will
won't
find
matter
out.
even more if Pixelate is able to, or if Curse Owls is able to hold here. They're going to do the same strategy that Pixelate did. They're going to try to sit in this hotel, get a May wall, and rush whoever they isolate here. We'll have to see how Pixelate decides to deal with that as we get into their attack of King's Row. Yeah, he's dead. They're dead. They're very dead.
All right, that's the fight. GG, go next.
We'll wrap it up, boys. Get back to spawn. Just go again. Not really much to say about that one. Goes for the charge from the top shelf. And does not find anything. Maxim there keeps trying to be a hero. And they've been very good for this team so far. They are a ringer, which is important to note. Rowan actually is going to go over the wall and not use his ice block.
Yeah, they managed to get a trade, though. Tommy falls, so Tommy is not in it. Tommy is in the spawn. High Noon comes out, man. Shake down Cinderella, so she will drop. Ooh, the pillar actually blocks the headshot angle, so not able to get the shot there onto the McCree, but it will not matter as the defense of Cursed Owls will hold strong throughout the first minute.
Yeah, right now, Pixelate's kind of shooting themselves in the foot, just getting caught up by these May walls a little bit too much. They need more discipline here. I'd like to see them do that top right rotation we saw from Curse Owls on their attack. They won't do it this time. They will be able to get through, but they've got to deal with this high charge Zarya with a grab now. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do it without their ultimates online.
Yeah, the flank grab, it hits everybody. Fuller player grabs their pin comes through from Maxim to take down Tommy. But I don't think it will matter. Tankline has been removed from Cursed Owls, though, so it looks like Pixelate want to try to engage with this. They only have 3 players. The Maywall walks up the High Noon, but he peeks around and takes down Bipolar there. Looking for the Tracer now. This is the flashbang. This gets decent damage onto him. Taking a lot of pressure, and there's the shot. And now that grab upon Surge is very good as well. And it's looking good for Pixelate to get a fight that was not looking too good for them as they looked like they had turned it down.
Yeah, good decision there from Pixelate to commit the ultimates when the tank line is gone. They're able to swing that fight back because they are decisive. It was something they were lacking on their defense, but it looks like they've fixed it now for their attack. Someone must have said it in comms, and they have definitely gotten this one under control now. But they killed him a little bit early, so Cursed Owls will be able to do the early hold on these arches. No ultimates here for Pixelate to be able to push through this. They're just going to have to play a very textbook game if they want to get through this choke.
Ant Matrix is going to be deployed, fire straight through it to try to take down any squishies. They're just going to wait it up, though. And now that it has faded, they will come back through. Shatter is online for Tommy to try to hit down the choke Maxim. They will look to block it. Wait for the perfect opportunity to drop it. Maywall is okay, not the best. Blizzard is thrown in from Bipolar Bear, and it is quite good. So they will not even need to use the Shatter that I was so very excited about. Instead, they will just get their fight win.
Yeah, and that just comes down to, you know, the ult difference. Cursed Owls has so many more ultimates, they're able to use them and secure that fight. Now they have access to one of the best holds in the entire game. This choke here is very hard to push, especially into a May who can wall it off. And now Pixelate's going to have to play very, very smart. They're going to have to build up these ultimates if they want to have a chance to break it.
Yeah, Ant Matrix, excuse me, comes on through High Noon from Budget Super. Gonna get a bit of a speed boost. Looksburg doesn't find anything. Tommy gets taken down. Sound Barrier now as they want to try to push the aggression without their main tank, and they do so very successfully. It was a keen eye there from Cursed Owls and good decision making to go with that aggression, even though they lost their main tank.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah, now, where is... No, they're backing out. Smart. Alright, Pixelate here with a nice little fight win. Now they've got some ultimates online. That's a very crucial fight win for them. They're going to be able to use this Graviton next fight here. No sound barrier available for Young Cheese, so that's going to be what they open with, and then from there it's going to come down to how they deal with this high field. Oh, but that's a huge pick on the heart.
Fire Strike through the Ant Matrix takes down Heart. Or, yeah, through the Ant Matrix, so nicely done there, Zach. Just gonna force a soft reset. Sound Barrier out. Actually, they're gonna go without their Baptiste. High Noon comes out. Tire's gonna get broken with a nice fire strike from Tommy, but he falls soon afterwards. Nice kill there onto Bipolar Bear. And so even though they didn't have the Baptiste for the first half of that fight, they still make it work.
Yeah, Pixelate, that was a very good decision. Without the Baptiste, they won't have a lot of healing, so they decided to commit their ults. They commit the Sound Barrier to give them the sustain they need, and they just take the fight very quickly, and they're able to secure a second point with it. And now all they got to do is, like we talked about, all they have to do is push it all the way to the end. They just have to complete the map. That's all they need. There will be no overtime. They were able to stop it at 0.01 meters.
Got her!
Oh, Maxim!
4! Maxim, the ringer, like you mentioned, in one of the most crucial roles in Overwatch, comes up big. And you were right about the cart. I was wrong.
It happens. One of us had to be wrong there. It just happened to be you. It's all good. But now it looks like Pixelate in prime position to take this. First Owls has one more chance. Oh, Maxim! How are you so good?
I mean, I was gonna say something I don't think I was allowed to say, but Pixelate, take the series. Not the series, take the map and tie it up 1-1 there. Nicely done there. They win on their map pick.
Yeah, very nice. And Maxim, obviously the play of the game here. The ringer coming in at, like you mentioned, one of the most crucial roles in the game. Main tank is not a role where you want to have a ringer, right? That's the brunt of your attack. You want that person to know how to play with your team, but Maxim just doesn't care. They're going to come in, they're going to dominate your main tank, they're going to dominate your entire team, and you're just going to have to take it. And Pixelate evens up the series at 1-1.
Yeah, it was a really nicely done map there, but you could think back to Cursed Owl's attack. They were, like you said, 0.1 meters from capturing that map, fully capping him. If they had managed to get that just slightly bit more, and if the High Noon was channeled just slightly faster, if the cast time was just slightly quicker, we probably are still inside a King's Row right now. But it's not what happens, and so now Pixelate tying up the series here, but while we wait for that, I believe we are going to be heading to a break. And as we get ready for map number 3 of the series, don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody, to GitGud Europe Season 7, as we are getting ready to hop into our third map of this first to 3 in between Pixelate and Cursed Owls. I'm Joe Razor, joined here well, not as always, but like the rest of the day. As today. There we go, that works. With Misfit, and we're getting ready for our third map, which I believe it was Rialto, but it oh no, it's Gibraltar. So they changed their map pick. Gibraltar's going to be the map. A very dive heavy map. It's
very
been
dive heavy map.
I mean, like even during Goats, it's like one of the maps where you would see teams run Winston. So,
yeah, well, no one picked Gibraltar during Ghost meta because they would just prefer to run Goats because they can't strip dive anywhere else. But yeah, no, definitely. It is a very, very.
But Overwatch League doesn't let teams pick their maps. They're like they have the John Spector picked map.
True. Either way, though, definitely going to see some divier comps here. I do not expect a Reinhardt from either team. You really can't run a Reinhardt on this map. There's just too much high ground you need to control. It lends itself much more in favor of those divier compositions that can control that high ground. But yeah, we're going to have to see how that affects, especially Maxim's play. They've been so good so far on that Reinhardt, but we're going to have to see if they can keep it going on that Winston as well. Comps will be unlocked here soon. I'm curious to know which each of these teams will decide to run. Dive, of course, can have very many different variations, right? Tracer, obviously a favorite pick. Sombra, good as well. Echo, good as well. Pixelate, though, is going to say, screw that. Both these teams looking to run a Bastion composition, maybe.
Oh, it's on the
Orisa Zarya.
I hate this.
I love it. I think this is a great idea because Cursed Owls is going to look at this and go, oh, okay. I was like, this is going to be so much fun. Orisa Zarya actually is like low-key a very sleeper pick. And the reason for it is because teams think, if you can, it's terrible. It's actually a horrible composition. However, no one knows how to beat it at lower ranks. They're just like, oh, we just run at them. But if you actually rotate like bubbles with fortify and shields well, then you'll just die.
Well, we're gonna see double balls from both sides. Similar to Tom. Interesting. We're gonna see the Ash from the attack, and they're the one with the Mercy Puck. Even though the defense has the Echo, no Mercy Puck for that Echo. As that's gonna be a nice shot from Fudge. Super takes down Maxim as they drop early on. Big opening pick to lose here. Winston is not ideal. Rowan barely stays alive. He has to go on the retreat. Fight over Blue Box now. Very crucial part of this map to hold. And it looks like Cursed Owls are going to win the initial engagement.
Yeah, they should have a better job of taking the space. One time Echo was off of high ground, it made it really, really easy for them to push in here. And now they have firm control of this first high ground here, and Pixelate's going to have to play the second kill box.
Yeah, Blue Box control has been regained by Pixelate, though, so it's actually quite big. Bipolar Bear's trying to take down the Ash, and he's able to do so. Nicely done. On the point now, Echo trying to stall out, but Rowan taking a lot of pressure and goes down there due to a nice Ash shot. And now you have this two-player advantage for Cursed Owls. The Eno boost applied onto Maxim as they, in an attempt to turn this fight, they do manage to get the kill there onto Young Chi, so she will drop a little pressure there onto Maxim as soon as that Nano boost fades, and he drops Resurrect is available as well. Supports helping each other out. Grabbing on Surge on the last 4 remaining players to clean that up. That's going to be Cursed Owls capturing Objective A.
I would say they didn't need it, but then again, you know, it's not about winning, it's about sending a message, and that definitely sends a message, gets the control firmly in their favor, and it's going to get them long spawn, so not a terrible choice there.
Sitting underneath them. I mean, yeah, Maxim's in was in an interesting spot. He has this, they have this Primal Rage to keep themselves alive for whenever they need it. Nice boot to push them off to the high ground. Duplicate now from Rowan, as he has to copy the Winston Primal Rage online for him as well. Trying to take down Budget Super, but there's so much resources being pumped in to keep him alive. Bipolar Bear's could have dropped, though. Really nice start to this fight. And then the Primal Rage from the Duplicate finds another one. So 2-player advantage now for the defensive side. We talked about this some in our last series, but trying to re-engage through these chokes in second point can be quite challenging.
Yeah, now we're into this really, really nice chokehold here for Pixelate. These doors are very, very hard to push on Gibraltar, simply because of how easy it is for the defense to stop them. Of course, Pixelate will be on a very strange composition, so it won't be as easy for them to stop the engagement from Cursed Owls, just because they have a Reaper and a Torb instead of Dive DPS. But still, it's a very hard choke to push.
Yeah, good. I mean, Rowan now with the Torbjorn. I like this pick there. Can really put a lot of pressure on the Winston and the Tracer. It's just a fight win already. These 2 players early on, Cursed Owls do, and then rose through to follow. So nicely done there by Pixelate, taking a quick fight win with a somewhat interesting DPS line.
Yeah, definitely an unorthodox strategy right here. Not the worst thing I've ever seen get run on Gibraltar, because they're not running a Reinhardt with it, but still not a great comp, but it is going to work. You know, both Reaper and Tor very good at surviving dives, very anti-dive characters in their own right. So Cursed Owls might have some trouble.
Oh, this is so smart. I mean, they see Maxim is just separated from the team by quite a lot, and so they commit to threat to take them down. And I think that's worth it. And so now they're able to get through the choke for essentially just that. Now I can just push through the choke for free and take complete control of the point. They do lose 2 players in the process, however, but I think it'll be okay. The Death Blossom is the zoning blossom, I guess, but they're still finding kills. Actually, the defensive side is. And so, well, this fight felt destined to be won by Cursed Owls. I feel like Pixelate are going to be able to take this.
Yeah, no, Pixelate there definitely being very decisive on how they deal with that. Cursed Owls with a really nice play there, taking Maxim out of the fight early, but they're able to get back in time and help secure the fight for their team. So, unfortunately, not a fight win. However, they will no longer be able to stuff these doors. There will be a foothold gained here for Cursed Owl, so at least that was gained from that fight. But they're running into a Graviton Surge from Sliver and a Molten Core, and if that hits more than 2 people, that's just going to be an immediate fight win.
Pressure there onto the Reaper, but Bipolar Bear is the one that drops. The anti-nade's good, so forces Crystallis to wait to engage. Multi-core from downtown. Young Cheese drops, and its defensive hold has just been... It's been a stronghold on second.
Yeah, Pixelate's doing a really, really good job of summoning doors. Every time I'm like, oh, this time Cursed Owls will be able to push in. Maxim's like, haha! What about no? Just doing an excellent job of that. Winston doesn't have a DPS with him to help him. I mean, I guess there's a Reaper, but no dive DPS. Nothing to really establish control. It's just, they're just in there doing it all by themselves, doing a great job.
60 seconds.
Yeah, Nano Boost thrown in onto Tommy. Allows him to go in a bit more aggressive. He gets taken down there by Kendriel. Good start, but they're just... I don't know if they're going to be able to do this, but they find 2 kills. Now Kendriel's going to draw. Nicely stunned there from Budget Super. So now they finally broke it through what is one of the hardest points to push. Took them 4 minutes to do so, however.
Yeah, it's a good thing they were able to cap first point so quickly, because now they won't be too screwed for this final fight here. They're going to have a multi-core on the point to deal with, though.
Yeah, they do have the multi... Yeah, so the double dink did come through, however... Young, said Triella, so it's just kind of not too good here for the defense. There is a Death Blossom on the point. Only finds 1, though. Traded out. Looking not too good for them. It's in overtime now, so the point should be captured fairly soon. However, barring a miracle, so that would mean that they would have a minute 30 to try to cap up the rest. The turret finds another kill here, so I believe there's only 4 players for Cursed Owls currently on the plate, but the Bob's just zoning everybody off and finding kill. Finds a 4K there. That's going to be point captured.
Yeah, and that's a really big fight win there for Cursed Owls. They're able to secure a lot more room here. This payload's going to push pretty far. 3rd point's not a point. You can stop the payload very early on if you're Pixelate. So this is going to be a lot more card progress for Cursed Owls, even with their small time bank. And Maxim Falling Gun, that's going to give them a huge foothold. They're going to be able to push this if they'd like to.
Yeah, they don't look like they want to, though. It can be punished, that aggression, due to the fact that they are running the Court and the Reaper. Maxim's going to respawn now, however. And there's the dive onto the high ground. Coach Gun pushes Maxim off, so they are not able to engage in. Sleep Guard is missed onto Rowan, so they're able to throw in the Molten Core. And it's a 1-for-1 trade. Lose the honor. Well, you get to lose your Torb. We get a Resurrect. Good frag there to just stunt the attack, though, as too deep in the backline is Tommy, so back into spawn he goes.
Yeah, nice job there from Pixelate with that Molten Core. I didn't get the kills, but it was able to zone Cedrella in a very bad spot, and Rowan was able to follow up on that, get the kill. Almost dying here now to the headshot from Budget Super. Will be able to be healed up. And now, Pixelate's in a nice position here. They've got multiple portals, almost online, and they've got this grab here, which they're using.
Yeah, it's quite a good grab. Locks up a fair amount of players. Bob is thrown out as well. And it's doing so much there. Duplicate comes through as well. And it's going to go on to the Winston. Is Graviton Surge is locking them up for now. Maxim now is going to pop the Primal Rage. Try to find something, and they're not going to be able to find anything. It's the offense that's going to find the kills in overtime. They're looking good to continue to push this card.
Yeah, this is going to be a very crucial overtime here. They need to keep getting picks here. The longer the members of Pixelate are allowed to stall, the harder it's going to be for Cursed Owls. They can't afford a single death here, but Pixelate can't afford many. They have the respawn advantage here. So just losing a few is not enough to secure this for Cursed Owls. They're going to need to win every fight from here on out. They're going to need to get every kill from here on out, or this could go the way of Pixelate.
Yeah, we will have to see if they're able to pull anything out, Pixelate. But looks like they won't be able to. Reaper TP out to the high ground, but alright. That's going to be it. Cursed Owls, you fully capped.
Fully cap with no time, but a full cap is still a full cap. The way Escort will work is that if your opponent full caps now, you will at least have a minute to push the cart. And, I mean, that could go, a minute to push the cart could go all the way to the end on Escort if you're not careful. So, definitely giving themselves at least something of a win condition here if they full hold on any of these points now, or I shouldn't say full hold, if they're able to stop the cart before that final golden box there at the end, they will win this and put themselves up 2-1 in the series. We'll get to see what comp they choose to do that with here in a second.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Ready for
They're
battle.
gonna opt to run this double bubble in the defense. Ash Tracer is what it's gonna be. Not, kind of a comp we've seen quite a lot on this map recently. Attack, still waiting to see what they want to run, but what they're currently hovering would, I would not be surprised by, but the Orisa, that would be a bit more surprising.
Hello. It's taking out the trash.
Yeah, I mean, something we have seen here, sometimes that teams will run like a pulled poor combo for teams to try to like play on the bridge. What they'll do is they'll like pull right by bridge and try to hook off and get a free pick before going into an actual dive composition, but it doesn't look like they'll opt for that this time. Maxim will finally switch over to the Winston pick. And now this is a much more traditional double bubble be double bubble.
Yeah, Tommy's pressured quite a lot. He's able to stay alive though. Now pressure being put onto the other one instead of Maxim. And that's gonna be the first kill coming through. Resurrect is available, however, so still even, right? Good sticky bombs there. But the Tommy, he's falling quite low. The tank line for Cursed Owls is both just extremely low, and there's the first one's gonna fall. There's a trade there, and some nice shots onto Rowan for a budget super. That's gonna... It's still just like, nobody's really won this fight. It's just very slow for both sides.
Yeah, it is very slow. Maxim getting caught out here, but all things considered, they are probably going to be able to establish control of the side ground with the bridge ball in there and the Ana. This is definitely going to be a fight win now for Pixelate. Good nano there from Cedrella.
Yeah, nano is quite good. And look where Maxim is, just separating bipolarism from everybody else so they get the kill in the cart. Control is going to go their way.
Weapon system optimized.
Yeah, and good job taking this high ground now from Maxim. They're going to try to force out Tommy on the, excuse that, don't worry about that. They're trying to force Tommy out on the Winston.
Yeah, so now Primal Rage going to come out from Maxim, trying to get a dice juggle going, not able to really do so. Bob's going to pressure onto him. Bob's going to leave the fight now, however. Kurt is so close to being captured up, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do in this fight. Now it's going to go over to the Zarya instead of the Winston. Bob is now thrown in from the pixelated side. As it's such an even fight. A lot of these fights this game have been like this, where teams have just gotten a pick, and then it's been traded, and then each team decides, hey, let's play the slow.
Yeah, and you know, I would say it's a lack of decisiveness. Both teams are really committed to playing it slow. It's not like either team doesn't understand what they're doing. They lose someone and then they immediately start playing slow. So at least there is that level of decisiveness here. But we're gonna have to see some teams be a lot more aggressive if they want to be able to cap this here. Only a minute and 30 remaining now on Pixelate's attack, and they need to find the win here, or else they could be going down 1-2 in the series.
Yeah, so in the back line, they're going to trade 1 for 1. So, but losing your Winston is much worse than losing your Ashe. And the Resurrect is there, however, on the Maxim. So now it's player advantage for the attacking side. And they're putting so much pressure onto these players in this tight corner. And so it took them 3 minutes, but barring a miracle, they should be able to capture first point after they are able to get rid of the stall. But the stall is quite good. And in this situation, you want to die together so you don't get split spawn.
Yeah, Max in there picking up a couple. The Bob getting it slept on point. Still going to contest though, but once it leaves, they will be able to cap this first point. Get the time bank back up to a much more respectable level there with 3 minutes. Going to look a lot better for them. Maxim Primal raging on the point. Probably going to give his life here, give their life here. Actually is able to get out. They're actually like still somehow getting picks.
Yeah, just Pixelate, we just want to push this aggression here. try to find any late kills they can, and keep Cursed Owls from being able to fight over the point. Oh, Maxim is able to stay alive. Oh, quite a little however. So much pressure on the Tiger and Maxim is not really much of anything. That is good. Walks up a decent amount of players. Bipolar Bear actually kills himself with the Pulse Bomb. That's interesting. Sleep onto the Bob. He's not going to be able to get anything done. Kendriel has to get the Bob to hit the final shot. Sometimes it happens, you know? You hit the headshot, just miss every other shot afterwards. As somebody who's a flat hit scan. Happens quite a lot. That's a nice shot, though, onto Tommy. As this is looking like... It's, once again, just so back and forth this fight.
Yeah, very scrappy. Both teams doing an excellent job of finding picks, and so neither team can really get an advantage that's pushable. Pixelate here needs to find something to work with. They have no ultimates to speak of, but neither do their opponents on the defensive side. I don't like this Reaper pick from Rowan. I don't think it's going to find the value they need it to. I think it was okay on the defense, but on the attack, you know, when you have to engage, I just don't think it's going to find the value that the Tracer is of Bipolar Bear. So we'll have to see here as they get into this next fight.
Ooh, good kill there onto Budget Super. And he finds another one. Rowan popping off on this Reaper, facing a lot of pressure though, and he ends up going down there. Bipolar Bear is able to remove him. Couple of missed shots there from Kenjiro's. Bipolar Bear finds 2 on the point. And the Zarya bubble's really good at keeping them up for now, and now the defense is just gonna looking to hold there, but you have the nano boost and the grapple surge from onto Silver. And so now this is winnable. He just kills 3 on point before getting taken down. I just don't think that Pixelate currently have the players, however.
Yeah, unfortunately they will not be able to use that nano boost, will not go where it needs to. Oh, but there, C9!
I don't really know if it was a C9, because Cursed Owls only have 2 players alive there.
Bipolar could have touched easy.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Yeah, Bipolar Bear should have touched, but nonetheless. Minute 50 now for Pixelate.
Yeah, and this is good for Cursed Owls, because even if somehow Pixelate is able to complete the map now, you've evened out the time bank, so there will not be a huge advantage to either side here. So even though you give up second point here, definitely not too bad for you here. Obviously, though, they do want to get the hold here on the defensive side. They've got resources to do it. They've got the nano, and it's going to come out here now onto Tommy.
Yeah, Rowan TP's in the backline actually baits up the flashbang, so now he's able to throw in the Death Plus among contested. Bags 1 kill. Cedrella does fall, but it's a 2-for-1 in favor of the attack. He's got that rig to keep everybody alive. Have a Raging Winston may kept going down here. Actually, Tommy does make it out with his life. Ooh, Rose gets killed immediately after she cast that rally. Not quite what they were looking for. As there are 2 kills though onto the DPS line and now onto the Winston. So the hold is going to come through. 45 seconds left.
That's a really, really big hold there if you're Cursed Owls, because now you have the Graviton online. They're now onto a Brig Lucio, which is strange to say the least. Looks like Young Cheese is going to go switch over back to that Ana, I would assume. Yeah, she will. All right, now Pixelate here, just the rally to work with here. That's going to give them an advantage in armor, but with that grab of Arson, they could really be in some trouble if it hits a lot of people.
Yeah, grab is good. Locks up a fair amount of players. Ooh, that's really nice kill there on Arson Jack, and then Tommy as well. So Tank Line just removed from Cursed Owls. You can win fights without your DPS, but you cannot win fights if you don't have your tanks or your supports. And with 1 second left, Pixelate will cap.
I'm feeling unstoppable.
Yeah, now that's you know, Cursed Owls definitely wanted to win there, but you know, even with that happening, even with the cap coming through, it's a completely even game. Your opponents just have a second better on the time bank, so it really comes down to who does it better on this next attack now. Cursed Owls did very, very well on their first attack, but got stalled at that second point doors. Probably going to be looking to switch that up a little bit, but Pixelate can also adjust. You know, they obviously found something that worked for them on their attack. Maybe it'll work for them on their defense too.
We'll have to see. As you see Maxim stats there. I mean, that much damage block on a Winston is that's an achievement. That's an achievement.
That is quite a bit, and that's not even taking into account the damage he's taken on that Winston. On that Winston. They've done such a good job of controlling territory. They've been so good for this team so far. And I have to admit, even though they are just a ringer, they might want to look into picking them up. Because they're doing absolutely wonderful right now for this team.
Yeah, Maxim really has been doing quite well.
3, 2, 1. 60 seconds
As now, they are ready to engage. They must stop the payload as quickly as possible. They're gonna jump straight to this high ground to start. Torb Reaper from Pixelate. We saw them run that a bit on their defense. They're gonna be rolling with it again. It's gonna cause some issues for the comp that Cursed Owls is running. Torb and the Reaper put so much pressure onto this Winston, and the Echo, and Maxim's gonna fall. Good start.
It's not too late for a new strategy.
Yeah, that was very interesting. Once again, we see this weird Reaper Torb with the Winston come out, and the Winston just has no health. And we see it there, goes in, takes a lot of damage, can't quite get out. They need to be playing more reactively on the side of Pixelate. They're not going to be able to be aggressive here with just a Reaper and a Torb.
Yeah, so now it's a 5v6 there. Tommy falls. So now Pixelate are looking good for quite a monstrous hold. Now they will just need to move the cart 51.34 meters to win this match, because they need an extra 100th of a meter. Otherwise, we could see a draw. Technically possible, but the chances are quite low. But well done there from Pixelate to get a really nice hold.
Yeah, Pixelate there. Once they realize that all they have to do is like wait until Cursed Owls is in a disadvantageous position and then drop on the cart, they're able to win the fight very cleanly. And win it cleanly they do. And now all they need is just one fight to put themselves up 2-1 in this series.
See if they're able to do it. To a composition they want to run. And the defense, though, you can see their comp in just a second. Currently, it looks like they're going to walk out of spawn with this Pharah. So they're under on the pharmacy. Just a question of, I assume it's going to be the monkey. And they just put the other DPSs, and it looks like it's going to be a McCree. So this is an interesting composition from Cursed Owls, but I do like it.
I think it's weird enough to work, if I'm completely honest here. You know, you only need to hold for a minute, and all it takes is them to be caught off guard by the Pharah, and then for that Pharah to charge her ult in one fight, and then after that, you know, you got the barrage for second fight. Like, this could definitely work here for Cursed Owls.
5, 4, 3,
See what they're
2, 1.
able to do here. If they are able to get this hold, it would be it wouldn't be surprising, because it really is only 1.5 fights that are available for Pixelate. As Kenjiro was nearly caught out of position, able to stay alive though. Auto coming through on the high ground. Cart's gonna start moving. They catch out Central in the background. No, they are not able to. Cart's gonna still move uncontested. They need to get on it, and they do touch very late, but they find the kill. So it doesn't matter how late you touch it if the kills go your way, as long as they touch it before it is too late, and they do so. There now, this is looking quite good for Cursed Owls. It's gonna just be it's just gonna be stall now for Pixelate. No real ultimates online, nothing to really do with this. It's looking like Cursed Owls will be going up 2-1 in the series after they can finish killing the Soul.
Step Rider.
And go up 2-1. They do, securing that hold onto Pixelate on Watchpoint Gibraltar. And now they put themselves in a very good position here going forward in this match. Only need to win one more here as we get into 2CP. Gonna be Pixelate's map pick. We'll have to see what they want to pick here. Here we see the grab to secure that first point by Arson. Look at that. Just 4 people. We'll love to see it.
so all done there. And now we will be moving on to our next map. Anything you wanted to talk about though before you move on?
No, I mean both these teams honestly playing pretty well right now. They seem to have worked out some of the decisiveness issues. They're both playing very very well. All these fights are going very scrappy because both of the DPS are just so good at finding picks, and it's becoming very very hard for each team to really establish a good foothold because they're both so evenly matched. And honestly, I'm living for it. This is a really good game we have here right now.
Yeah, we can look at the Zarya comparison from Gibraltar. And yeah, similar playtime, and you can really see just one Zarya was just like with less than a minute more, just had so much more impact.
Absolutely, 19 final blows, 50 eliminations, 16,000 damage. There's not much more you can ask for from your Zarya player other than to be, your third DPS in this composition. And Arson stepped up and showed out. Did an excellent job there on that Zarya, not just with the damage, but also the bubbles were very, very big. Did a good job saving their teammates whenever applicable. And now we will be getting into Hanamura here as our next map pick. Pixelate has chosen this to be their final map potentially in this series. They seem confident enough to send this one to a map 5. This would be our second map 5 of the day, I will add. Some really good games coming out here for GGEU.
Yeah, some very closely competitive games so far. As we are just waiting on everybody to be ready, and then we can pop in. But like you said, Hanamura's their selection for 2CP. Take a look at their rosters. It's what they've been running throughout the series. Just really nicely done here from both sides. Just Puppy did so much work. Only differences you could see on Pixelate. They are running with 2 ringers, I believe, one at their support and then one at their tank.
Yeah, so Maxim, who's been absolutely stellar for Pixelate, is filling in for Zima, and then Milo has I'm blanking on the name.
I think it's Cedrella.
Cedrella, yes, Cedrella, who's also been very, very massive on the Ana. Did a great job farming these nanos up. So yeah, no, the ringers obviously, do put Pixelate at a disadvantage when it comes to synergy because, you're not used to playing with these people, but the individual skill of, excuse me, the individual skill of these ringers is keeping them in this game. They're both doing a stellar job right now. And I look forward to seeing what they pull out here when we get into our next map.
Excited to see what they are to do. I believe we are nearly all ready to hop in to a very crucial map. It's do or die now for Pixelate. Lose this map, they're out. They draw. We go to possibly 6 maps. I don't think I'm ready for that. 5 is enough. We could stop at 5. I did an 8 map series one time. Fun fact. It was a best of 7 with a draw. It was a first of 4 with a draw on it.
That is quite a bit. I mean, the longest match I've ever played or casted was for Owlet Season 3.5 Grand Finals. I played in a match that was a 3-2 that went to map 7 because both Hybrid and 2CP got tied, both Kings Row and Volskaya, and they were both in overtime. So the match was 3 hours and 15 minutes.
That's a
lot for those that don't know.
Fun fact of the day: there's only been 2 times where 2 maps have been drawn in Overwatch League before, and Jerry participated in both of them.
I remember I watched that Houston versus Boston game last season, and it was crazy. What a crazy game that one was. Hopefully we don't get a repeat of it.
And then, of course, more recently, like last weekend, the Justice just got dumpstered by, I believe it was Paris Eternal. That game made me really sad, but yeah, that also had 2 draws in it. So But yeah, now to this game. We're gonna see Balzari on the defense. This is the Chung Duke.
Arvidsson with the rollout, getting all the way up top. I like it.
Teleporter online.
He'll drop right off it though when
With-
TP comes out.
Yeah, Pixelate running the brawl. So they're just gonna teleport the point, and there goes Sidrella. Very early kill. Nobody's really giving themselves up to the Symmetra, and so they're just able to poke it to the point to find 3 kills just like that. Pixelate stifled. First Owl's holding on.
Alright, that's going to be a first point hold, it looks like, for Cursed Owls. I do like their composition. We talked about this a little bit in the last game, but this ball dive composition lends itself to a lot of angle control, and they can just poke from a bunch of different angles and stay on a lot of different crossfires. And what this allows them to do is when Pixelate will push in, with a brawl composition, they just get picked apart from a bunch of different angles, but now they will also be opting for the ball dive composition, and they will get some picks out of it.
Yeah, they will. Widow pick now? Girl finds one. We saw a bit of Widow earlier in the series on Widow. Now we're gonna see it here. Oh no! Kindrel, that's a shot you have to hit. You're just not able to connect though. Just walks up into Azaria's face. 1 tick gain. Looking for a second. There's gonna be a contest in the tank line. Line's now deployed. Good shot there. Onto Arson. Gives them another player advantage. The mines and the bomb, though, combined for 2. The bomb finds another one. That's going to just be the hold there. I mean, just turn that fight around when they were down 2.
Yeah, a little bit of a 2CP moment there, but on the wrong point. That's supposed to happen on
No,
second.
it wasn't even really
right?
a 2CP moment. Just throwing some ults.
Well, I mean, they were... Pixelate was up in that fight, like, quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then the tank line was able to stall for long enough for their members to get back. They were able to win the fight out, and now they've got a Nano and Pulse Bomb to work with here. Pixelate only sporting this Diva Bomb and a Nano of their own. Don't gotta give them too much. Not really a great Nano target on either of these compositions. Probably gonna go to the ball and just get more survivability. We'll have to see as we get into this next fight.
Yeah, just the ball on the run here. Tommy trying to way. Facing a lot of pressure. The Rowan's gonna fall fairly low, so bipolar bear does not have to recall, but gets healed up. Let's use it now though, just so very low. Ball now. Engaging onto the supports. Gonna roll away though. Very slow. Now they're gonna blink onto the point. Mine's thrown now. Tracer on the high ground, recall forced out, so now they may be able to take him down, but it's going to be about super that falls. Maxim drops into the back, and they're not able to take down the Tracer. Okay, they will in the end. Rowan does fall. Tommy trying to make sure not to roll into the mines. What is that grab from Arson? They're going to get the fight, but the grab was a bit questionable.
Yeah, frankly though, there's not too many good situations to use that grab in this composition.
Nobody.
I would agree with you there. I think he was going for the Widow. Got the kill anyway, though, so again, not too big of a problem. There's not too much you can use it on. I mean, most of these characters are going to play so split. There's just not really a situation where you can use it other than to secure a kill, and he did secure a kill in a way.
Just point me.
So I'll give him some credit for it. Pixelate now want to do a very weird support line. They're going to be opting for a Moira Brig dive. Which is not something you see because it's not very good, but obviously they seem to think they can get some value out of it, so we'll see how it goes for them.
Don't mess.
Alright. So far, Cursed Owl's able to hold this all right. It's in overtime now, so this is kind of a lose or go home situation now for Pixelate. And they are choosing to go home, not able to break this defense from Cursed Owls. And Cursed Owls just played this so well. I love the positioning from Young Cheese up in that back left spot on that high ground. I love playing there myself on Ana. It's just very, very good all the time. You have great line of sight for the Sim TP. You have great line of sight to everyone who needs healing. You're survivable because no one pushes that high ground, so you're not going to get pressured at all. It's a lovely spot to be for any flex support player. But let's talk a little bit more about why Cursed Owls was so effective there. The big thing that allowed them to dominate was the fact that they had the damage boosted Ashe on that right side high ground with the Tracer on the left side. So it's, again, another one of these crossfires, another one of these angle controls. While you have that going on, you've got Arsene and Tommy really providing a lot of damage there as the tank line, a lot of disruption, just creating more and more opportunities for Pixelate to look away from the DPS, keep their attention on the tanks, and that just provides a lot of space for the DPS to pop off.
Yeah, my audio stopped working, so I got everything fixed up, and we are good to go. But yeah, nicely done there by Cursed Owls to hold, and now they're looking very, very good to manage to take the series. Need 65.8%.
Yeah, with this Sim TP, it could happen very quickly if they get to the point and wall them off. This is a brawl composition. No one's hanging out on point right now for Pixelate. This could be a one and done.
Okay, they're gonna move people back to point now. They've moved a couple of players back to point, and it's such an aggressive pin. Oh, why, Maxim? What was your plan there? They lose Tommy, so it is a trade, I guess. But it's just, you have the better respawns as the attackers. I mean, Arsene is
Kala finds Arsene though. That's so big.
Yeah, that is quite large. Reinhardt is back now for the attack. Tommy is now coming back through. Maxim should be back into the fight somewhat soon. Good Maywall is able to get the DMAC, and they are. So now you have Maxim. They just pinned off the edge. Oh no, that was not the best series of events for Maxim, but it's a good series of events for Cursed Owls, as they will be taking the series 3-1.
Victory.
What just happened? What was that? That was like the weirdest series of events I think I've ever seen. That was you pin in, die, and then you pin off the map. Maxim there has been so big all series, but in the final hour, just a little bit of a choke there. And unfortunately, Pixelate not able to secure the hold there. Cursed Owls will take this series in a comfortable 3-1 fashion.
Yeah, that's gonna be it for that series. Well done there by Cursed Owls. Looked a bit rough at the start, but they managed to come back strong and take the series. So congrats to them, and congrats to both of our winners today. Two very fun series to watch.
Yeah, no, I had a great time casting it. A lot of fun to see what each of these teams decided to bring out for us. And I had a lot of fun, as always. Do love doing these. But I think that's going to wrap it up for us. Any final thoughts for us, Joe?
Make sure to follow me and Misfit on Twitter. You can see our Twitter handles below my name, and then I can't like reach over and point at his, but you can see it. Ooh, wait, wrong hand.
There it is.
Close enough. Make sure to follow Elo Hell on Twitch, join the Discord and all that jazz as well, so you can go play pickup games. There's like 60 ads of them. They're quite fun. But yeah, that's gonna be it for us here at Elo Hell Esports. I was Joe Razor, joined here by Misfit. And then a big thanks to Eka plus Trap and Zeuser for the behind the scenes, getting the stats up, the stream running, and all the behind the scenes work. That's going to be it for us. And we do hope to see you later today for our North American games.